I promise you that what happened in this case is your dad came inside your mom. 100%.
Came inside of a condom that also happened to be inside
and
my mom.
came inside your mom?
Inside of a condom.
So came inside your mom.
Inside of a condom.
So wait, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that I got this. I just want to make sure I got this right.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Excuse you. You're not speaking.
I am speaking.
So
though.
your dad. Listen, you
me.
green-haired freak. Your dad came inside your mom, right? Your dad came inside your mom. Answer the question.
All right. So I'm going to come back. Actually, no. Well, feminism, we might as well get into the feminism conversation. Still need to do that too. So, Kiko, I mean, actually, aside from the primary, you think women have equal rights to men. You think women
Today?
You think women are not oppressed in the USA, and you don't think that there's a gender pay gap.
Not today.
Lexi, you disagree with the following statements. Women have equal rights to men in the United States. Women are not oppressed in the United States. There is no gender pay gap. You disagree with all of them. Amanda is gone, but Maria...
The pizza's on the way, guys. Pizza's on the way.
That's fine. There's also bananas back there if you guys need any on the... whatever. Maria, you said... you also disagree with those three statements.
Say it again.
Women have equal rights to men in the USA. Women are not oppressed in the USA. There is no gender wage gap. You disagree with all of these.
Okay. There is a gender wage gap.
Okay.
And
women and women are oppressed in the USA?
I agree that women are.
Okay.
No, actually, are they oppressed in the US? They are, actually. Right now, they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that you also, women have equal rights to men in the USA. You disagree?
Correct. I disagree.
Okay. So for those of you who disagreed, that also includes Amanda, but she's up at the table, or up from the table. Let's start with women have equal rights to men in the USA. Which ones do they not have? Like, which rights do women not have equal access to?
About to say abortion.
I am. Bodily autonomy.
Okay, cool. What besides that?
Nothing.
I think bodily autonomy is a pretty important one. So.
Okay, sure. Anything else though?
That they're not equal?
The statement is women have equal rights to men in the USA. So aside from
bodily autonomy.
Aside from that, is there any other right?
No, I don't think so.
Just that one?
Mm-hmm.
Maria?
That's all I could think of right now.
Abortion. Okay. I'm still waiting on Amanda here, but so I'll go ahead and dive into that. How would that be evidenced? Because when we're talking about equal rights, that would indicate like a man has a right that a woman doesn't, right? When it comes to abortion, men have no reproductive rights whatsoever. And so wouldn't it actually be equality to actually completely walk back women's rights to abortion? That would create equal rights.
I'm sorry, no. So men don't have to carry a fetus.
Neither do
right.
women.
Okay. Well, hold on.
Hold on.
No. I want to engage with you on that.
Okay.
So men don't have to carry a fetus, but what does that have to do equal rights? That has to do with comparisons between men and women.
Okay.
Right. So men don't have any reproductive rights.
So
where's
my
the
second point,
where's the inequality? Okay,
waited.
go ahead.
My second point is men, when they want to get a vasectomy, that's an easy doctor's visit. They get pain meds. They get told to stay off their feet for like 3 days. They can get a vasectomy, no worries. But if a woman wants to get their tubes tied to prevent the same thing, and because they don't want to have kids, they have to go through a bunch of like hoops to jump through. They have to, depending on what state you're in and depending on what doctor you have and insurance,
Yeah,
whatever.
So can I respond or do you have more?
I was going to say that the requirements for that are you have to be married, you have to have at least 3 kids, give or take.
This is completely just factually untrue.
That's very true.
Is there a law? You'd have
It's
to
not
point
law.
me-
It's not
No,
law.
it's not
It's
law.
So
not
it's
law.
up to the doctor's individual.
If you go to a
So you're
doctor-
saying all doctors have this mandatory, you need to have had 3 children and you need to be married?
I'm just saying it's
The
a
questionnaire
very
you
heavy
asked.
bias. So it's not, that's why.
Fake news, but okay.
It's fake news. You want to tell the many women who were denied getting their tubes
Right.
tied?
Sure.
You want to
It's
tell
not-
the many
that's-
women
I-
There
who
could
doctors
be-
that
got
would do it
refused
anyway.
Hold on.
to
That's
get their
actually-
uterus
what she's
taken out
saying is
because
very
of
true.
It's a lot of
endometriosis?
private doctors that would do it.
Hold
for
on,
money.
but
That's
you're
the
saying
issue.
you're
It's
like
private.
you're
Telling-
putting forth. Stop.
Yeah.
You're putting forth like a position where you're saying essentially all these doctors, the requirement is the woman has to have had 3 children and be married.
Sometimes
What?
they even have to have the husband
What?
sign off on it too.
Yeah.
While perhaps it could be the case
My
that
godmom did.
there is anecdotal evidence that this has occurred, this certainly isn't widespread. And you would have to like pull these OBGYNs or whatever the doctor is that does this procedure. You'd have to like actually provide evidence that this is a widespread practice and like some sort of like, and I don't think the medical literature indicates that that's the requirement to get a hit.
You mean
said
the medical
hysterectomy?
literature
No,
that
no,
literally
tubes tied.
hasn't tested women's period products for actual blood until last year? You mean the same medical system that derived off of men and thought that women were mini men, even though they have completely different organs, different functions, different
So
hormones?
to
You're
your
talking
point,
about the same
I'll
medical
address
system?
your hysterectomy thing.
Yeah, the same
Not
one.
hysterectomy. That's
Yeah,
two different things.
cool.
Or what was it?
Yeah,
It
valid.
was
Tied.
tubes tied.
is
Excuse
a-
me.
is a
Excuse me.
choice. Hysterectomy is usually a medical thing that's
I
necessary.
misspoke. I meant
That's
getting
removing
your.
the-
I meant
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
your. I meant getting your tubes tied. So okay.
Actually, I'm happy to engage with this.
Yeah. So one of the differences that immediately comes to me is that it's a much more invasive procedure to get your tubes. It is to get your tubes tied. If
I'm not
I don't know if you
disagreeing.
want to be another science denier, it is medically more invasive
Never
to get your
was a
tubes
science denier.
to get your tubes tied. Getting the what's it called? Sorry, I'm blanking on
So
it.
a voluntary,
Vasectomy,
so a
it's
voluntary
much more
procedure.
The
Vasectomy,
vasectomy,
right, yeah.
you're like in and out in 15 minutes.
You can also
Okay,
get
so that's a
reverse
privilege
most of
that
the
men have?
time.
That's just the kind
Well,
of
because
of
his
the
point
nature.
is like they're making sure that you are set in it because vasectomy can most times be reversed, whereas getting your not your tubes tied can be reversed, but like if you get them cut or anything like that, it's a permanent decision. So his point is like the medical staff is just making sure that you are completely sure in your decision because it's a lot easier to get a vasectomy than it is to get your tubes tied.
Well, I
Yes,
can,
both are still voluntary procedures, though. So
But,
why?
but let me give you.
I was just saying what he was saying.
Perhaps
Yeah, no, I
a
know.
good
I appreciate
to
it.
piggyback off Kiko. She makes a good point. In spite of herself, she didn't even mean to make this point.
No, I
even
know
though
what I
it's
was
really
saying.
good. Even though it's really good. What does first do no harm mean?
do no harm.
First do no harm. That's what every doctor operates under. The idea of of first do no harm.
Yeah.
Let me give you the argument, and then you can respond. Okay? So my argument would just be this, that if that is the case, right, that you take in the Hippocratic Oath, which came from Hippocrates, right, and he says, hey, first, you should always do no harm. If it is the case that a doctor, let's say, was performing women getting their tubes tied at like 22 for these women, and then would see them at 27 going, I regret this. This is awful. This sucks. This is horrible. And he had that experience over and over and over and over and over. Doesn't it stand to reason that that same doctor would say, okay, this is doing harm?
Did that actually happen, though?
It does.
Yes.
Not only does it happen, but men are coached too when they get a vasectomy, especially if they go in young. You probably don't want to do this, and you should wait, and you
Okay.
should wait for an elongated period of time. But the difference is that men aren't going back to the doctor, right, and saying, please undo this. Women are going back to the doctor and saying, please undo this, or I have regrets, or it's causing me mental health issues, this and that. If it were the case that you're a doctor, and this is being reported to you by most of your female patients who you do this on when they're young, and your oath is to not do any harm, At what point would you think you were doing harm?
Okay, well, what about the women that you're turning away from getting these procedures and they have severe endometriosis or ovarian cysts, or if they get pregnant, it can be detrimental?
Women aren't getting turned away for that.
Wait, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. So, you're saying that these doctors who are continuously consulting with their female patients and checking on them and making sure that they're ready, couldn't we almost reverse this argument and say that this is actually evidence? Like, oh, the men, go ahead, sterilize yourself, but the doctors give a bit more care when it comes to the women.
You could say that it's care, but oftentimes I believe it causes more harm. My friend's mom had endometriosis and got pregnant in a very dangerous time to get pregnant, and luckily everything was fine. But if something bad had happened, she wasn't able to get hysterectomy until after.
We're moving off the topic here. The topic originally was about it was about
reproductive rights, yes.
Rights. And then we were talking about abortion, and then it came into this kind of more niche thing.
Yeah.
I have to bring it back to how is women's lack of access to abortion, I suppose in some states, evidence of an inequality between men and women?
Because it's blatantly refusing their right to bodily autonomy.
Ah, I see. Bodily autonomy?
I swear, if you bring up the bodily autonomy to a fetus, we will have a very
I
long
won't.
discussion.
I'm not going to.
Cool.
I'm not. I'm just going to bring
Then
up
yes,
the. I'm just going to bring up the draft.
The draft?
Yeah. What about the bodily autonomy of men when it comes to being drafted?
I never said I agreed with the draft.
Yeah, maybe not, right? But whether you do or you don't, wouldn't that be a case of men being oppressed and women not being?
I mean, yeah, but who created that system?
Why would that matter?
Because you're
say
men,
a king.
you put yourself in that position. It's not like us women all voted for you to go to war.
Or a queen.
You voted for yourselves to do that.
Let's say it was a king or a queen who invented that system yesterday. What would that have to do with the fact that right now, today, me and Brian can't do anything about that?
Wait.
So, and hang on, since we can't do anything about that, aren't we oppressed by that system?
In the super hypothetical scenario of a king or queen making decisions,
right now, right this second.
No, we don't have a king or a queen here.
We don't need a king or a queen. Right this second,
Right this second.
I can be drafted. You can't. Yeah.
Depends. How old are you?
Right now, I'm 40.
I don't think you would be drafted.
Yes. In fact, the draft can be accelerated up to 70, like it is in the Ukraine and in Russia right this second. Okay. Or it can be decreased to 13, 14, like it has been in World War I. So the question is,
wasn't there talk about making the draft for females too?
Yes, but interestingly enough, that's nice that you're talking about it.
Yeah.
But it's not the case. So if it's not the case, you say you don't have any bodily autonomy, but neither do I.
Do you have to grow another person inside of you? And then
I'm sorry. Do you have to go die in a war?
No, I don't have to, but I can
great.
choose to.
Great. But you can be. But I can be drafted. You can't.
You could always break your leg too.
Yeah, I know. You can always just not take jizz in your pussy. I mean, sorry. All you have to do is not let a guy come in your fucking pussy, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
I know. I'm totally
It's almost
right.
like my mom was on birth control. They used a condom, and my dad only had one testicle.
And all she had to do is not let him jizz in her pussy.
They used all the proper things.
Like not jizzing in the pussy? I promise you that what happened in this case is your dad came inside your mom, 100%.
Came inside of a condom that also happened to be inside of my mom.
Came inside your mom?
Inside of a condom.
So came inside your mom.
Inside of a condom.
So wait, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that I got this. I just want to make sure I got this right.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Excuse you. You're not speaking.
I am speaking.
So your dad, listen, you
me.
green-haired freak. Your dad came inside your mom, right? Your dad came inside your mom. Answer the question.
Rachel, she did nothing wrong.
Just in case she's
Can you answer the question now?
How many beers have you had?
Not enough. Can you answer the question?
Obviously.
Yes, thank you. How fucking hard was that? Now
How
go
hard was
ahead.
it to deduce it yourself, asshole?
Oh, how hard was it to admit a thing that you can't admit because you know it hurts your argument?
Why would it hurt my argument? Why is someone choosing to have consensual sex and use all the protection necessary to prevent a pregnancy? Why
They're
should
not
that
doing
doom
everything to
them?
prevent a pregnancy.
Why should they?
What's the thing you can do that's 100% effective to prevent a pregnancy? What can you do that's 100% effective to prevent a pregnancy? What?
I'm sorry. Can you talk to me like I'm an actual person in front of you?
As soon as you start answering questions, I'll start talking to you like a person
As
who
soon
can.
as you start asking me relevant
Great.
questions.
Here's the question. Is there a thing you can do which is 100% effective?
Abstinence.
Yeah,
Duh.
Great.
Cool.
Great.
How long
So
have you
don't
abstained?
say
How
I've
long
done.
Did you abstain
Don't
before
say
marriage?
I've done
Did you abstain
everything.
before were you 100% ready for a pregnancy every single time?
Would that
you
matter?
Came inside a woman?
Why would that matter?
It does matter.
What's the relevancy? Tell me.
What if you got a woman pregnant?
What if I did?
What if you did? Were you
Then
ready
that
for
would
that
mean
every
that
single time?
I came inside the woman, right?
Yeah, and does that mean that you get to dictate whether or not she has your kid?
No.
Change
But
split.
the thing here's the distinction. When you say to me, no, women don't have bodily autonomy. They don't have any. They don't have any. Except then you give an example of mom and dad. You say they did everything right. No. If they're having sex, right, then the idea here is there was a form of birth control that they had at their disposal that they did not use called
Abstinence.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
A condom is a way for men can prevent women from getting pregnant, and a form of women's condom is birth control. Like what? Like isn't that why birth control was
Also,
invented?
men lie about putting on condoms all the time.
You know how you can prevent all of that?
Let
What
me
if
guess,
you're
by not having
assaulted?
sex?
Yes.
But what if you're
Isn't that
what if you're
crazy?
assaulted?
Isn't that crazy?
But what if you're assaulted?
What if you are? We're not talking about cases of assault. But even in
Wait.
cases of assault, I would just grant, fine, have the abortion in the case of
okay,
assault.
So, no.
I'll take that.
I would just grant it.
So
I'll take that.
you're saying that my
I'm
body
down
has
that
to be
hill.
violated against my will and a pregnancy to happen for me to get the right to abort that pregnancy.
No, what I'm saying is that your argument that there's no, I did everything right. My parents did everything right when it came to using contraception. No, they didn't. The truth is that there was always, for your parents, a 100% foolproof way that mom never would have gotten pregnant.
Okay, so you think that abortion shouldn't be an option? You think that it should be illegalized? You think that
Well, yeah, I
women
would-
dying because they're forced to be going through sepsis before they get treatment for a miscarriage?
Never happens.
Yes, it does.
Name a case. Name a
There are
single
4
case.
cases.
What are the names? Name one name.
Oh man, I swear. No, I literally have
It's-
TikTok posts about this.
Yeah, okay.
I have TikTok
Then why
posts
don't you?
about
Why
this.
can't
I
you name
have-
a single name?
Because I suck at names.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I looked into at this point there's only 2 actually. But what's
Oh, so they're
interesting?
awesome.
What's interesting is that the cases themselves, these are grievances brought forward, but they're not even proven. They're just bitching about it. It's not even proven. And 2 out of all of the possibilities.
I'm sorry, families and husbands and kids are bitching about their mom dying to sepsis because they were refused
They
to
could no, they weren't being refused. These women, like many people do, they sue for malpractice where they have no merit to do so.
Okay, so
It's very hard to prove.
Yeah, I don't know what you're smirking. Like people sue for shit like this all the time, even though
Okay,
they're in the
so-
wrong.
but the women that have died-
are not being refused treatment for sepsis ever.
No, the doctors refuse treatment until they get sepsis, and by then it's too late.
No, they
Yes.
don't. Where?
It's literally happened.
Where's
twice already.
name the case?
I can't because I suck at names. I will email
they
it
don't.
to you.
You can email it, and here's the thing. I'll pull the case up, and what we'll see is a grievance where the person claims that this is what is happening, whereas the hospital says that isn't what happened.
There have literally been cases where doctors said that it could have been avoided. Their death
Years
could have been
and
avoided.
years ago. Currently, right this second, if you have an ectopic pregnancy, or there's sepsis, or there's any hurt to the mom from the pregnancy, it can be terminated in all 50 states, and the doctors do it.
Cool.
So, like, I don't even know what the argument there is when it comes to
The argument
this.
is if I get pregnant, I would want an abortion. I am not.
Right. That's the argument.
because
You want to
I-
kill your kids.
It's not killing a kid.
Well, I'm sorry. You want to kill the man's kids.
No, they're not kids.
How do you know?
Spirits,
How do you know they're not kids?
No. Okay, so it starts off as
Can we
a
ask the
zygote.
angels? Are they kids?
wow.
What do the angels say? No, I'm
A
kidding. I'm
fetus?
joking. Yeah.
A fetus.
How do you so
A fetus?
Yeah.
A fetus, someone
Yeah.
who is not an actual person and cannot survive
A
outside
fetus
of the
is
mother.
actually not considered a fetus until it's almost 4 months. That's why when you're not allowed to legally have an abortion after 4 months.
Yeah.
That's why it's now when you find out you're pregnant, it's within